What if the reason you feel stuck isn't your situation, but the fact that you've been avoiding the one thing that could transform you? Not your job, not your past, not your circumstances, but you. Because the truth is simple and brutal. You are not stuck in life. You are stuck in avoidance. And I realized this the moment I heard Jordan Peterson speak, because most people don't need motivation. They need confrontation. And once you understand that, your entire life stops being about comfort and starts becoming about truth. Someone in the audience asked a question that didn't sound like curiosity. It sounded like suffering finally finding words. If I feel everything too deeply, is that a curse or a gift? The room didn't move. No one laughed. No one reacted. It just stopped. Because everyone understood it. That feeling of being too aware, too sensitive, too conscious, too awake to ignore life, but too overwhelmed to handle it. And Peterson didn't soften it. He didn't try to comfort it. He sharpened it. The only way out is through. What poisons you can become, what strengthens you if you stop running from it. That sentence changes something deep inside you, because suddenly suffering is no longer something to escape. It becomes something to transform. And that splits life into two paths: avoidance or transformation, comfort or truth. And most people never realize comfort is not peace. Comfort is slow destruction. People think they are stuck because life is unfair, because money is tight, because opportunities are missing, because timing is wrong. But that is not the truth. The truth is far more uncomfortable. People are stuck because they are negotiating with reality. They delay action. They delay responsibility. They delay discomfort. They delay truth. And every delay feels harmless in the moment, but it compounds silently until one day you realize you didn't become stuck suddenly. You became stuck gradually, one avoided decision at a time, one postponed responsibility at a time, one comfortable excuse at a time. And now that avoidance has become identity, this is how life quietly collapses. You avoid pain, so you choose comfort. Comfort repeats, so discipline disappears. Discipline disappears, so confidence weakens. Confidence weakens, so fear increases. Fear increases, so avoidance deepens. And suddenly, your life is not something you are living. It is something you are reacting to. And reaction is not freedom. It is captivity disguised as choice. Peterson's idea is simple but devastating. Suffering is not the enemy. Avoidance is, because pain that is faced becomes information, but pain that is avoided becomes poison, and that poison doesn't stay hidden. It spreads into everything: your thoughts, your habits, your relationships, your identity, and eventually it becomes bitterness. And bitterness always turns outward or inward, but never neutral. The real question is not, how do I avoid suffering? The real question is, what if suffering is the thing that builds me? Because everything meaningful in life requires cost. Strength requires resistance. Growth requires discomfort. Meaning requires responsibility. Nothing valuable comes from comfort alone. Comfort gives you survival. Struggle gives you identity. And identity is what allows you to stand in the world without collapsing under it. Then comes the idea most people misunderstand completely. Be dangerous. Not violent, not destructive, but capable. Capable of strength. Capable of force. Capable of standing your ground when life pushes back. Because if you are harmless only because you are weak, then your goodness is not moral. It is accidental. A weak person is not peaceful. A weak person is simply untested. But a strong person who chooses restraint? That is real morality. That is real control, because restraint without strength is meaningless. Every time you avoid something difficult, you train your brain to avoid again and again and again until avoidance becomes automatic. And then one day, you wake up and realize you are not choosing your life anymore. You are escaping it, and escape always has a cost: lost time, lost potential, lost identity. And the worst part? You don't notice it happening because it feels safe while it destroys you. Inside, every person exists something they don't want to face. The shadow, the part that procrastinates, the part that lies, the part that avoids responsibility, the part that resents discipline, the part that envies others instead of building itself. And the more you ignore it, the stronger it becomes, because what you refuse to confront controls you silently, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, every single day. A man once lost his job as a barber during lockdown. He had no choice but to work in a supermarket, stacking shelves, night shifts, no recognition, no identity, and when asked how he felt, he said something that cut deeper than anything else. "I don't mind the work. I just miss being good at something." That is the human truth most people ignore. We don't just want survival. We want competence. We want meaning. We want to matter. Comfort does not build meaning. Responsibility does. Meaning appears when you carry something that is heavy enough to change you. First yourself, then your family, then your environment, and if you grow further, your world. That weight is not punishment. That weight is structure. Without it, life collapses into noise. People don't feel empty because something is missing. They feel empty because responsibility is missing. Because responsibility anchors identity. Without its days blur, time disappears, purpose fades, and suddenly life feels meaningless. Even when everything is fine, if avoidance continues long enough, it turns into bitterness, and bitterness is dangerous because bitterness always wants something: blame, revenge, justification, and once bitterness enters the mind, reality becomes distorted. Everything feels unfair, everything feels hostile, everything feels personal, and that is the beginning of psychological collapse. Real life works in layers. Take responsibility for yourself. Then your habits, then your work, then your relationships, then your community. Each level expands you, each level demands more from you, and each level forces you to become stronger than you were before. That is how meaning is built, not found, built. You are not waiting for motivation, you are waiting for permission. But no permission is coming. Life does not ask, life responds. And every choice you avoid today chooses your future for you. So the question is no longer, how do I escape this? The question becomes, what am I becoming through this? Because you are already becoming something, either stronger or weaker, either more responsible or more avoidant, but never the same. And that is the truth most people never want to face. You are not stuck, you are becoming.